Yoma Daf Samach Beis. Today's email comes from Shlomo Aberbach from Boca. Good morning, Rav Eli. First, I cannot thank you enough for the shir, as it's the highlight of my day to the extent now that my 8, 6, and 3-year-olds all now compete who can sit on my lap while I watch over YouTube the Daf before 7 a.m. Quick story. He says that he's in the process of moving to a new home in South Florida, Mazel Tov, and he's packing and he realizes that he needs a new Kedushas Levi. He asks his brother-in-law, Lior Haddad, who lives in RBS, to get him a sefer. But meanwhile, he's trying to convince Lior to join the shir. Lior goes to the Svarim store to get the sefer, and who does he bump into? Myself. So he says it's tremendous simim in Hashamayim that he should join the shir. If that's not a hint, Lior, you got to join the shir. You should have tremendous hatzlacha in your house. Shlomo Aberbach from Boca. So Yoma Daf Samach Beis. We're continuing with this concept of the blood spilling in middle of the Avodah. And now, because every time he spills the blood, he has to bring another sire. So he has a few seirim, he has a few sire la'azazals, ones that have to be thrown off the cliff. According to Rav Nachman, you only send one off the cliff. Which one exactly? Now, when it comes to the burning that we had yesterday, you burn as many of these animals as you have. But this machlokes in Rav Nachman, what did he mean? Do you send the last Sar La'azazel because that's the one that we had a kapara with? Or the first one, like the Svar Rabbi Yaisi, that there's a mitzvah to do with the first object that you use? We see this concept by Korban Pesach. A person designates a Korban Pesach, and then the Korban Pesach gets lost, and he designates a second one. And before Chatzos, he founds the original. So now you have two Korbanos Pesach that become available at Chatzos. The mitzvah is to do it with the first one, with the original. According to Chachamim, you can use any one you want. Now, if between the two Korbanos Pesach, one of them is a better korban, it's better meat, you should use that one. It's mitzvah and a mufchar to do that one. When it comes to Sar Mishtalech, there's no mufchar, better meat, not better meat, they're all the same. Now, we had a case in Shkolm that we cannot prove this idea from. The case says that we know that every other we go and give a half a shekel. Everybody in Klal Yisrael gives a half a shekel, so they could buy korbanos from it. And they take Trumas Halishka, they take the money and put it into 3 boxes. Each box has a number on it, Aleph, Beis, Gimel. And you're supposed to take box Aleph. Why? Not because it's the first mitzvah, but rather because that's the box that was filled first, and mainly you have to use that first. But when it comes to Korban Pesach, they're done together, there's no raya. And that's how we finish off Perek Hoitziulai, which is the 5th Perek in Yoma, and now we start and begin a brand new Perek Shnei Seirei. Seirei is plural 2. So then why does the pasuk say Sheni? Not only does it say once, it says it 3 times to teach us that these Seirim that we bring on Yom Kippur, one goes off a cliff and one you do Chatos, have to be identical in the way they look, the color they are, the white versus black, the height, and how much they cost. And a 4th halacha that we don't learn from this pasuk is that you have to buy from the same person, same store. But it's not ma'akiv if you don't do the different heights. It's okay because it says in the pasuk sar. If one of them dies, you bring a replacement. If it died after the gairol, now you have to bring 2 new seirim as a replacement. And you make it tonight. You say the one that died should be these new guys. One of them should be instead of the one that died. Same halacha we find by Mitzorah, by the keves of the Mitzorah, both have to be identical. By the birds of the Mitzorah, have to be identical, because it says Yikach Shnei Kvasim, which is a double lashon. Shnei Shtei Tzipayim. So we learn from that they have to be equal. But there's a riboy that says that it's not ma'akiv. If they're not identical, then the Mitzorah is still yaitza, because there's a riboy in the pasuk. But the word tia in the pasuk teaches us that all the other avodas in Mitzorah are ma'akiv. Korban Tamid also has a double lashon. It says kvasim 2, b'nei shana tmim shnayim layayim. So the shnayim is extra, but it doesn't come to say that the Korban Tamid every day has to be identical to each other. Rather, it comes to teach us that you have to shecht it under the sun, in the rays of the sun. Shachris, the morning one, you have to shecht it in the west because the sun is in the east. On the second ring, the Bein HaArbaim one, the afternoon, where the sun already comes around and is on the west, so you have to shecht it on the east in the second ring. Here's a big chiddush. The karbanis musaf both have to be equal because it says shnei kevasav. Before the goyrel occurs, and you take the sar and you shecht either one, you're chayiv on shchitas chutz if you do it outside of Beis Hamikdash. After the goyrel, you only chayiv on the one that had a goyrel that's going to be a chadas, but the one that's going to be sarim shtalech, that's zazel, thrown off the cliff, you're not chayiv if you shecht it for shchitas chutz. And Rav Chizda explains that before the goyrel, even though right now it's not available to be a sar, a chadas for the Yom Kippur, but since it could be hoyel, since it could be a goat for the shchitas chutz, then it's as if you shechted something that's available now. You have to do all the avodas hayom, but they're not avodah that's done in this animal, and therefore it's not considered mechusar zman, that's missing time. But masha'enkin by the goyrel, it's missing right now in this animal. You can't do the avodah right now. The same concept will use by shlamim. It says by shlamim that the doors of the heichal have to be open. So it's a chesaron in the actual shlamim. This shlamim must have doors open. So therefore, if the doors are closed and you shech the shlamim outside of the Beis Hamikdash, you're potter for shchitas chutz because something is missing from the avodah of this carbon itself. Have a wonderful day.